saying I don't have the right equipment is not a good enough excuse for this workshop. In May of 2025, I'm going to be running a free Let's Make Ugly Art workshop. I kid you not. Only thing you need to do to be part of it is to sign up for my newsletter, because literally if you're a subscriber to my newsletter, you're just going to get the link into your inbox. That's what's happening. So if you want to be part of it, all you got to do is click on the link that's down in the description and you can join up and be part of the fun. Now in today's video, I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about what you probably need for the workshop. And I use the word need very loosely. I'm going to go through what I recommend using and the things that I'm going to use. But at the end of the day, if you've got a regular ballpoint pen, this is one I got for free from our insurance broker, a ballpoint pen and some copy paper, you can do the workshop. Saying you don't have the equipment's not a good enough excuse. I'll go into that a little bit more at the end, but we're going to go through some of the things you might like to use and why I suggest using them. Let's talk about what I'm going to use. I'm going to talk about sketchbooks a little bit later. I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to draw with for the workshop. I've made it no secret that I love charcoal. So for a good portion of it, I'm going to use charcoal. Let me talk about why I'm going to use charcoal and probably a little bit of soft pastel and dry mediums like this. It's going to be a fast workshop. Now your ugly art making at home doesn't have to be fast. We're doing it fast. I'm not sure exactly how many. We're roughly doing about 10 artworks. I'm not sure exactly how many at this point. I haven't actually test drove it yet. But at this point we're going to do about 10 artworks. So I recommend a dry drawing medium because especially if you're using a sketchbook, you can just flip the page, do the next one, flip the page, do the next one. So in an hour, we're going to end up with 10 drawings. Up to 10 drawings, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's quick, fast. So wet media won't have enough time to dry. So if you're in a sketchbook, it was not going to have enough time to dry before you turn the page. We'll have a chat about that a little bit later, but I'm going to talk to you a bit more about why I'm choosing dry media. So I've actually got here, not that you can see it, I might do a little close up, some dry media that I'm going to use, and I reach for these so often. All right, so I mentioned charcoal. Charcoal's brilliant. The reasons I love charcoal is probably very similar to soft pastels, really, because it's just kind of, they act the same way. So in a way, it's like having just colored charcoal. So soft pastels and charcoal I'm going to use intermittently here. You can get such a varied line weight with charcoal and soft pastels. So I can either use it right on the very pointy bit on the corner. Same with the charcoal, very pointy bit. There's usually a pointy bit somewhere on it. And if there isn't, I can just snap it. Suddenly I've got a new pointy bit. I can use a very pointy bit. I can use it on its side. So I can get, if this bit's this long, I can get a line that wide. So I can kind of streak it across my page. So my line variation with it is brilliant. I get some really cool thick thin lines that you just can't get with just a standard pencil or a ballpoint pen. Another thing I love about these two, which it can also be the case with some other things, but I'll get to it in a minute, that once you've put it down, there's so much you could do with it. So I've actually got a whole video where I put everything yellow with charcoal. So acrylic paint, oil pastels, I did everything with charcoal. Everything works with charcoal. It's not like oil pastels where I can't use things on top of them. I could put anything I want on top of that. It works beautifully. And I love the idea that I can smudge it really nice and easily to get some either textures or to just almost start again. And I love how I can build a history of the marks by doing that. Smudging it, rubbing it out, and then just applying another layer of it. It's easy to layer up like that. if I don't want it to move, I can just use fixative over the top of it. So I spray quite a heavy amount of fixative over the charcoal. I try to avoid it with the soft pastels only because it does change the color. It makes it darker, and that annoys me a little bit. So if you've got a solution there with the soft pastels, let me know. But the charcoal, that's not a problem because I like it darker. Another thing you can actually do with them, so especially if you're drawing away and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm being too tight, I'm being too perfectionistic. I'm not sure if that's a word, but it is now. I can literally add water or smudge and do another layer. Another real magical thing you can do with it is add water, just water on a brush, and you apply it, and it almost, charcoal doesn't become like watercolor paints, but a good quality soft pastel will, because it's essentially just pigment. Should be just pigment with a small amount of binder in there that actually holds the pigment into a block. So when you apply water to it, it should become like watercolor. Now another thing that works really well like that, I don't have it, it looks like these, but Inktense blocks. Like I said, I don't actually have any of them. But the great thing about Inktense blocks is you can get the same variation of line, but it is very much water activated. So it's like using a thick watercolor pencil, just a water activated thing. So Inktense blocks are brilliant as well. I love using charcoal and soft pastels, and this square soft pastel is not one of my good quality ones. It's literally, I am fairly certain this is out of a pack, like a multi-pack that I got, and I've kind of got a little container. I have a whole big box of them over there, but this is what I took camping recently. It's just a range of different colors in just these little scabby bits of block color. They're not expensive, so can we just put it out there? It's probably another positive with the charcoal is it is quite inexpensive. Go to your local art supply store, you can get a full thing of, like I got this whole container charcoal here for like $6 or something, or no, 9, has the price on that, $9. For me, that's pretty inexpensive, and this is gonna last me forever. I feel like it's gonna last me forever. It's inexpensive, it's really good, it works well with any paper. It doesn't really matter what paper I use. I've also got Neocolor 2s, so Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s. They're great. The 2s are the water activated ones. So again, I would actually break it even smaller than this, so it's a bit like this, but they act a little bit like the Inktense blocks, so I can actually water activate them if I want to. I'm not going to be doing that in the workshop. I should probably mention that. I'm actually not going to be using any water in the workshop because it's too fast. Like I said, in my usual sketchbook practice, I might even add a bit of water to my charcoal or my soft pastel. Or another great thing to do is actually dunk it in the water and then draw with it. That's really cool as well, but I'm not going to do that in the workshop. That's just a really cool idea to help open up your mind to how you can use the art supplies you've already got, because I am trying very hard to use up art supplies I've already got, which is kind of why I've whipped out the art soft pastels. I love them, and I've got some really great, really good quality soft pastels. But I've also got these old cheap ones that I've had probably since I was a kid. So I'm like, I want to use them up. What a great way to do it in your sketchbook. I actually did that, the whole dunking it in water with the soft pastel when I was at camping. Brilliant. It went so well. I loved it. It did make the color darker, but I loved the richness of the lines. Like, it was really just quite, I don't know, juicy. It was nice. Juicy. Juicy soft pastels. Anyway, another art supply I use regularly for my ugly art. Great idea if you do too. I've got another little This is the only reason they're in little fancy tins is because I took them camping. But these are just oil pastels. Well, it's actually a mix of oil pastels, and like that's a little scabby bit. So I've got, these are just literally, I got these ages ago. They're Holbein student grade oil pastels. They're perfectly good for your sketchbook. I do also have a really good quality, the Sennelier oil pastels. I use them more for finished artworks. These student grade ones are brilliant for the sketchbook. I love them. I also have a selection of Neocolor ones. So these are the not water reactive ones. So they are, again, great for this stuff. They're also great for final artworks too. But I kind of just have, normally I just have this bucket of oil pastels. Like these are the student grade ones and the Neocolor ones. I'm probably not going to buy any more Neocolor ones. I like the idea of the Neocolor 2s being water activated. And I think they've got a better range of colours. Could be wrong. Now I can hear you. I can hear you there. You go, well, I haven't got any other stuff. Don't worry about it. It's okay. If you're watching this with a couple of weeks out, if you want to go buy some things, go for it. Can I suggest though, you keep it cheap. All the things I've shown you have been low quality student grade stuff. Soft pastels student grade, oil pastels student grade, Caran d'Ache, all their stuff. I don't even think they do student grade, but they last for ages. So I don't feel like I'm wasting an art supply because like that's short only because it's broken. Do you know what I mean? So they last forever. So you don't feel like you're wasting. And I don't ever want you to, I hate that word wasting because it's not wasteful, because we're learning and we're growing in our art, we're exploring, we're playing, and that's super important. But I just wanted to demonstrate today that you don't have to have top of the line stuff, and saying I don't have the right equipment is not a good enough excuse to make ugly art. But you're going, oh, I haven't got the stuff. Oh, but Courtney, I haven't got the stuff. All I've got is a lead pencil. Use it. Colour pencil. Kids coloured pencils. Use them. Get your kids' stuff out. If you're a parent, get your kids' stuff. If you got these Crayola crayons, perfect, great, love them. Lead pencil, great, get into it, use it. The only thing is about a pencil, it's the same for a ballpoint pen. I have this one that I like using. It's like a gel pen. It's not water resistant. It is very much water reactive. So you get kind of cool stuff out of it. The only issue I have with these, doesn't mean you can't use them, but for my art practice in general and my sketchbook practice in general, you can't get a really good quality, different variations in line. That's not always a bad thing. Most of my blind contour drawings that I colour in with gouache are done with coloured pencils. So I can't get a massive, I actually like the mono sized line. It's a very thin line that I get. There is some slight variations, but not massive amounts. So, you know, if you've only got a pencil, or you've got your kids supplies, school supplies, a pen, they will work fine. They are perfect. Use them. These have their place, and you can do the entire workshop with a single ballpoint pen that you may or may not have lost the lid to. You know what I mean? So please, saying I don't have the right stuff is not a good enough excuse for this workshop. Plus, the other thing is, you might want to do the workshop and then decide, actually I think that might be cool with a little bit of soft pastels. I would highly recommend using what you've got. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You could also use a text stuff, for example. So I've got this Sharpie. I actually have done videos where I've done blind contour drawings with this exact fluoro pink Sharpie. Works fine. It will be sufficient for this. I still love my charcoal. Let's talk wet media. I've moved a lot more in my sketchbook practice into wet media. Now I'm talking acrylic paint. I'm talking inks. I'm talking watercolor, gouache, all of that. Anything wet. Watercolor set. They are great. They're great. I love using them when we're working fast. If you have a deep desire to use ink and a dip pen and a glass dip pen, go for it. I actually love doing blind contour drawings with a glass dip pen and ink. It's so much fun. Or what I've been doing a lot lately is actually using the dropper, my ink dropper, to do the drawing bit. So if you have that desire, go for it, but you might need to have like some small pre-cut bits of paper that you can use one and have them so that they can dry, okay? Because it's brilliant. I love using them to draw, and then adding water to it, yes, go for it. The issue is you may need to have either multiple sketchbooks or lots of loose paper, whether that's watercolor paper or whatever. So just be warned. That's why I recommend for this particular workshop using dry medium for it, and then applying that to your wet mediums later. But you do you. If you don't want to listen to me, don't. If you want to use your acrylic inks and your dip pen, or you want to use your acrylic ink with the dropper as the drawing, go for it. Don't let me stop you. If you want to use watercolor with a paintbrush, go for it. Do not let me stop you. The other thing I find with wet media like that is I've often done it, especially when you're using paint, so watercolor paint, acrylic paint, gouache, especially when you're blind contour drawing, because when blind contour drawing, you're not looking at your drawing, you're looking at the reference picture. So I'm here drawing and my brush has run out of paint. I don't know until I decide to have a glance over. So there's things where they end up not actually helpful. It might be helpful to run out of paint on your brush. I don't know. I find that the effects I like to get, I like to make sure I've always got paint on my brush, you know what I mean? Right, well, let's talk about paper and sketchbooks. You can use anything. It's a bit like the drawing supplies. You can use anything. If you haven't got a sketchbook or some pretty watercolor paper, copy paper. This is from my printer. Actually, this is the plan for this YouTube video. It's just copy paper from my printer. Use it. It's probably not great with wet media. That's fine. But let me tell you, pretty good with a new color, or it's pretty good with charcoal. I can still use charcoal on it just fine. I know I've said this multiple times. We're going to do quick drawings. So for this, Bruce isn't coming. He's not coming to this one. If I so desired, I could try and do it in a bigger sketchbook. If this is your first time drawing this quickly, I would highly recommend not bringing a big one. I love doing these techniques in a big sketchbook. For this workshop, we're moving super fast. Some drawings are going to be literally 30 seconds. I just don't know if you're going to get the most out of it with a big sketchbook. I don't actually have the sketchbook here that I'm going to use on the day. A5 is about as big as I'm going to go. Okay, so this here is a sketchbook I made myself. My normal sketchbook is a cheapy one that I got from Temu. I probably won't get it again. It's super thick. It's taken me forever to get through it all. And I like being able to finish a sketchbook really quickly. If you've got a beautiful sketchbook, a bit like this one that I got from Bound to Love Them, if you want to use it, use it. For this particular workshop, I'm going to use a sketchbook with slightly less quality paper. So the paper I've got in this sketchbook, this is not the sketchbook I'm going to use, by the way, but the paper in here is literally just sketchbook paper. I am very much a big believer using up your good quality sketchbooks, and let me tell you, this sketchbook is full. I loved using it, and I did a heap of ugly pages in here. So if you have a book that you would love to use, a beautiful book, use it. Go for it, use it. You don't have to use a beautiful sketchbook. I've got here, this is my Etcher Perfect the Perfect sketchbook. I'm not going to use this one for it. Not because of any reason, mainly because it's got really good quality paper that I want to use more with wet medias. So I want to use more acrylic paint, watercolor, inks, all that in here. So I'm going to leave it for a time when I've got more time to do those ugly drawings in this particular sketchbook, or might really, like with really good quality watercolor paper. But A5 is about the size. This is a landscape A5, but the one I'm going to use is a portrait A5. I always recommend using a sketchbook unless you don't have one. If you don't have one, can I suggest you go to your nearest $2 shop and purchase one, or purchase a beautiful one, up to you. But if you're going to purchase a beautiful one and then never use it, there is no point buying a beautiful sketchbook if you're never going to use it. Okay, so if you want to purchase a sketchbook and you're gonna buy a beautiful one, go for it. But use it. Don't leave it sitting on your shelf. That's full, by the way. I always recommend using a sketchbook. There's a couple of reasons for that. These are personal things that I think is actually the case for a lot of people out there. Oh, these mozzies, bloody mozzies. With a sketchbook, you can track your progress. So you can go, okay, well, this is what it was like when I first started drawing, or when I first started doing ugly artworks, and this is what it's like now at the end. I did, oh, isn't it beautiful? I love it because, yeah, it tracks it, but I can also go back and get inspiration from my sketchbooks. Now, I find that harder because I don't know. I find it hard to keep track of where all my bits of paper have gone. But if it's in a sketchbook, I know it's probably going to be on this shelf just here, behind the two cassowaries there. So that's the first thing. You keep track of your artworks, and you can go, because we're focusing on making ugly art, yeah, okay, you might go, oh, that's really ugly. And you know, oh, no, I didn't like that because this, and this. Great, cool. Don't do that in your artworks then. Or you might go, oh, this was really ugly, but you know what, see this bit up here? I really love how that watercolor reacted with that charcoal. And when you go back through trying to get inspiration from your own sketches, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Just saying, it's lovely. Lovely. A sketchbook is about, there's a mindset behind sketchbooks. Now, what I mean by that is, it is where we give ourselves permission to play. We give ourselves permission to make the ugly artworks because it's just in our sketchbook. No one has to see it unless I choose to share it. Very little of my artwork is not shared with the world. I share a good portion of my artworks with you. But you know those really beautiful, polished, refined Instagram pages where they've got the beautiful artworks? They have an ugly sketchbook. Guaranteed. I'm just saying, it's a place where you can play, you can try something. It's where I did, like, I've never mixed anything with charcoal. So in my video I was saying where I mixed everything yellow with charcoal, I did that all in different sketchbooks. They were in sketchbooks though, because I wanted to play. These were not going to be artworks I was going to sell. I was exploring, I was playing. And you know what, when you're exploring and playing, that's when your creativity is sparked the most. So just remember that. And that's what we want in this workshop. We want your creativity to be sparked. The other thing is, when I get a piece of paper out to make a beautiful piece of artwork that I'm going to put up on my website and sell, there is a pressure. For me, I end up putting pressure on myself because I want that artwork to sell. So I start worrying about the final product. I start worrying about whether people are going to like that final product or not, whether people are going to buy that final artwork, whether people are going to find my final artwork beautiful. So already, before I've even put a pencil or anything to the page, I'm stressed about that. So what that does is suddenly I'm not as creative. I take less risks. I do more people pleasing, and I shut off that creativity, that beautiful creativity. Whereas in a sketchbook, it's safe. It's a safe place to play. You're not going to sell any of the artworks unless you want to. You might decide to scan them in and sell them as prints. That's great. Go. Beautiful. You don't have to though. That's a choice you make after you've made it. And what that does is it allows us to enjoy the process, have fun, build that creativity. And when you practice this muscle, because it is a skill, this is a skill we're practicing, practice this skill, build that muscle, strengthen that muscle. When you come to do an artwork that you want to sell, or an artwork you want to display, or an artwork you want to enter into a competition or whatever, it becomes easier because you've taught your brain to be in constant play, constant creativity. You've shown your brain what that means. So, always recommend a sketchbook. However, like I said, if you're using wet media, you probably need to use single sheet pieces of paper for this workshop. What I've seen people do, and I did it like, okay, it's under a heap of stuff. I was testing some paper for a sketchbook that I wanted to make. I still got this big piece of craft paper, and I put ink and all sorts of things on it. I was just playing. I knew it wasn't going to be a final thing, but I was playing. But I'm actually going to turn that piece of paper into a sketchbook because I actually really like some of the marks that's in there. And I thought I could get in there with my pastels and things like that over the top. You can do that as well. You can actually turn some of these exploratory drawings into a sketchbook that you then add to later on. Now, if you're going to tell me, I don't have any copy paper, I don't have a sketchbook, because I'm telling you, there's no excuse to not come. Find some paper around your house, some cardboard. Like I said, cereal box. Raid the recycling bin. I'm sure you can find something. A notebook. Literally a notebook with lines. Use it. It doesn't matter. My workshop. We're going to make ugly art, whether you like it or not. And like I said, it's practice. It's practice. I still get myself caught in the whole it has to be beautiful loop. Doesn't. If you want to be part of my workshop, all you need to do is you need to click on the link below this video and you need to subscribe to my newsletter on my website. If you click the link, it'll take you straight to subscribe. Beautiful, amazing. And I'm literally, a couple of days before the workshop, I'm literally just going to send out the link to everybody in my newsletter. So if you're not on my newsletter, my mailing list, then you are missing out. Know what I mean? So do it. Jump on there, sign up, let me know what if you want me to add anything. I've already got it planned anyway, so I probably won't listen to you. And I literally cannot wait to do this free workshop with you guys. Let's do it. We love it. Let's make ugly art. Don't forget to like and subscribe.